For over 1,000 years, there was a financial system so powerful, so vast, so deeply connected that it moved wealth across 3 continents before most people knew those continents existed. It had no central bank, no single currency, no government controlling it, and yet it was the beating heart of the entire global economy until someone decided it had to stop. The Silk Road. The name conjures images of camel caravans, desert sunsets, merchants, and exotic bazaars. But strip away the romance, and what you find is something far more interesting. The world's first sophisticated long-distance financial network, stretching 7,000 miles from Chang'an in China, through Central Asia, across Persia, through the Byzantine Empire, all the way to Rome and beyond. At its peak between the 7th and 13th centuries, this network moved more than silk. It moved paper money, credit instruments, banking contracts, insurance agreements, financial innovations that Europe wouldn't independently develop for another 500 years. Medieval Islamic merchants had invented a system of paper credit that made it unnecessary to carry gold across 7,000 miles of desert. Here is how it worked, and it is elegant. A merchant in Baghdad could deposit gold with a trusted banker and receive a written document called a sack, essentially a check. He could then travel thousands of miles and present that document to a partner banker in another city who would honor it in local currency. No gold to carry, no bandits to fear, no weight to slow the caravan, just paper and trust. The word sack is where we get the English word check today. These merchants also developed early forms of partnership contracts, profit-sharing agreements, and limited liability structures that protected investors from total loss. The Silk Road didn't just move goods, it invented the architecture of modern finance. So why does almost nobody talk about this, and why did it end? In 1258, the Mongol army under Hulagu Khan sacked Baghdad. The Abbasid Caliphate, the institutional backbone of Silk Road finance, was destroyed in a matter of days. Libraries burned, scholars killed, banking networks severed. But the Silk Road survived, battered, but still moving. The real death blow came from a different direction entirely. In 1453, the Ottoman Empire took Constantinople. European traders were cut off from the eastern routes, and so Europeans did what desperate people with resources always do. They looked for another way. Vasco da Gama, Columbus, Magellan. The age of exploration wasn't born from curiosity. It was born from economic necessity. The Silk Road's collapse accidentally launched the modern world. And here is the part that nobody in your history class ever connected. The Silk Road is coming back. In 2013, China announced the Belt and Road Initiative. 150 countries, nearly $1 trillion in infrastructure investment, new ports, railways, highways connecting China to Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The official name in Chinese translates directly as the New Silk Road. This is not coincidence. This is deliberate historical memory. China is rebuilding the financial architecture that once made it the center of the global economy, and the West is watching with the same anxiety that Roman merchants felt when they realized the eastern trade routes were no longer in their control. The Silk Road never really ended, it just changed hands. For 1,000 years, the Silk Road proved something that economists still argue about today. That trade creates more lasting power than conquest, that financial networks outlast the empires that build them, and that whoever controls the routes between East and West controls the flow of history itself. Subscribe if this changed how you see the world economy, because the next episode goes deeper into the financial systems that shaped civilization, long before anyone called it finance.